Hello again, everyone, and welcome back. It has been a while since my last venture into pop culture because real life. But the trailer for Rings of Power Season 2 is out, and I thought, what better time to jump back into the deep end of the pool? Let the breakdown begin. The trailer starts with an Inception-type blare and an establishment shot of Mount Doom. Logically, one might conclude the figure walking about is Sauron, scouting for a suitable location for Barad-dûr. And although probability favors that conclusion, in watching the gait of the figure, I don't know, I kind of lead toward it being a woman under the cloak. Maybe Galadriel, wrapped in a bit of trailer misdirection, out scouting how she will single-handedly conquer enemy territory. Wait, did I really say that? Yeah, I did. Okay, but nice establishing shot, however.
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
The voiceover here is rather standard, employed as an establishment bit of dialogue meant simply to convey someone is and or should be afraid of the return of Sauron. Which is fine, I'm not faulting that, every story needs a villain. What interests me is that which follows. The venom slime creeping out of the muck. This is a person, of course, one obviously in torment, as you can see here in this part of the image. The expression, the pair of eyes in the mouth and the expressions that they're sort of forming. Who it may be, I have no idea. My point is simply the use of this particular visual. The internet is rife with people desperate to trash this trailer and this series. It seems to me utilizing such imagery only serves to render that process easier. That aside, my interpretation of this imagery is another utilization of the rebirth cycle, like that used in Game of Thrones during the Battle of the Bastards and Jon Snow's climb up through the mass of humanity clustered around him. Who is undergoing that process here, and why I freely admit I have no idea, that is what I believe to be occurring, a manifestation of the rebirth symbolism.
Prepare yourselves.
This cluster of characters includes Elrond sporting a new hairdo, and it's well shot. I feel it's a good visual. My only issue with this moment is the complete lack of any real drama. Everyone, as in every viewer of this trailer, and thus Season 2, knows Galadriel is in no danger here. The two guys behind Elrond are as doomed as Ricky Redshirt from Star Trek.
The landing party will consist of myself, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Ensign Ricky.
Ah, crap.
But there's absolutely no question as to who will win whatever fight is about to occur. Well, this could be controversial, I suppose. However, in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. Although her face isn't shown, I believe this to also be Galadriel. Posed and crafted in imagery designed to reflect imagery often utilized in portrayals of the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ. Because, why not? I mean, I hope I'm wrong about this. However, it wouldn't surprise me in the least to see that at some point in the Season 2 narrative, Galadriel is presented as just that, a Christ-like figure, as the savior of Middle-earth. To a lesser degree, she was already deified as a result of events during Season 1. And given the penchant of the writers to champion the promotion of certain messaging as opposed to telling a compelling story, the continuation of that ideal is only logical.
A worm is his way inside your mind. The crest of him slithers in.
I think he has been here.
Okay, as you heard there, the use of the terms worms, slithers, which is again rather standard narratives typically utilized in the description of primary evil personified type villains. They could easily be talking about Voldemort here. And note, of course, the resemblance to the Great Eye.
I think he's been here among us all along.
Again, just a promotion of an often employed literary trope, the idea that evil slithers in largely unnoticed but in actuality has been here all along. Now, I have no issue with this, as when utilized properly, it is an effective storytelling device. So on the surface, on the surface this is fine, okay, but then they have to ruin it with this insanity. Sauron in elf cosplay sneaking right into the heart of his enemy with a cheap smile on his face because, yeah, baby, no one could ever possibly recognize him with that hair and a pair of Spock ears.
Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
Others have criticized this moment in the trailer, I'm sure, and if so, I don't blame them. This image illustrates 2 points to me. 1, the writers are lazy and have little regard for presenting a compelling story, and 2, the writers have little regard for the viewing audience because they believe the audience will be too stupid to notice just how lazy and insipid they truly are.
Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Oh no, it's a big sea monster.
Don't know who that may be in the water, and truth is, I don't really care. I could be wrong, but this shot reeks of exploitation, as the exploitation of the work of others. Others as in the writers of Star Wars, A New Hope, whatever, Jar Jar Binks, big sea monster. Now perhaps I don't know the lore well enough to recognize whether that creature is from the lore, and if so, someone please inform me. And I mean that sincerely, but at face value, this appears to be just another moment of dramaless eye candy.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril.
Oh, remember when that other orc licked his knife? Yeah, I remember.
And remember Bionic Man? Remember Chewbacca again? Oh, I love to remember Chewbacca.
And Don Limitless makes an appearance, defying the laws of physics to spring forth from a wagon, twist in flight, and fire his bow using a backhanded technique. I'm going to run this a couple of times here to illustrate my concern with this scene. Now true, the elves of Middle-earth in film have been portrayed as physics-defying superheroes, so this moment falls in line, but it is still stupid. Don Limitless launches himself from the floor of a wagon while covered in a tarp with enough force to propel himself 8 to 10 feet both off the ground and through the air, all while twisting in space to land upright and in perfect position to fire an arrow toward his foe, which will probably, given the events of Season 1, kill a dozen or so orcs all at the same time. Yay! Storytelling, yay! Okay, in that montage we see what appears to be a version of Minas Tirith, the arrival of the Eagles, also known of as Middle-earth's Tactical Air Force, proof that this woman actually survived while fighting alongside Galadriel, the orcs laying siege, Gandalf not Gandalf, and of course, not to be outdone by Don Limitless, Galadriel firing off 2 arrows which killed 2 ice trolls in less than 10 seconds.
Did I mention I killed an ice troll many years ago? In under 10 seconds?
He's Sauron.
And the final montage featuring the formation of Barad-dûr, which I admit is kind of cool. Here are my thoughts on all of this. I want this series to be both good and successful. I really do. I want this series to be both good and successful because it is Tolkien. It is Middle-earth. It is based on lore from Lord of the Rings. I want this series to be both good and successful for the same reason I wanted Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania to be good and successful. For the same reason I wanted Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness to be good and successful. Although, as I've stated prior, I did like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but I wanted them all to succeed because they were Marvel. They were part of the MCU. Okay, now that statement prompts me to go off on a Deadpool 3 rant, but I won't here. I will save that for another video. But in short, I would much rather Rings of Power Season 2 be worthy entertainment, as opposed to the agenda-driven nonsense Season 1 proved to be. But I know it won't. The reason I know it won't is simple. When those promoting either a political or social justice agenda are called out for doing so, they don't back off. They don't reevaluate or reconsider the wishes and desires of those who criticize them. They don't restructure to appeal to the very audience they intentionally drove away. They double down. Their efforts to destroy whatever franchise is involved become even more intense and maniacal. I mean, just look at the current version of Doctor Who. I mean, what even is this? Other than a conscious effort to destroy the Doctor Who franchise. Because, you know, this wasn't enough. The purpose of any movie or television series trailer is to entice an audience into watching said movie or television series. For an example of what an effective trailer looks like, watch the original trailer for the Disney Plus series Echo. It doesn't matter that the Echo series turned out to be another in a long line of recent MCU dumpster fires. It was preceded by an excellent trailer. The Rings of Power trailer, however, is neither effective nor compelling. What it is coy. It hints at a potential the series might achieve. Offers glimmers of fantastical imagery designed to entice a viewer. Offers hope to those of us still even remotely interested in the series, and that it will achieve some measure of former Tolkien large screen fare. But it is all just fairy glamour. Sparkles tossed out to belie and obfuscate. Rings of Power already suffers from the fact that its lead actress, Morfydd Clark, shares all the same deficiencies in charm and charisma as does Brie Larson and is thus just as likable. Ismael Cruz Cordova, who plays Don Lemonless, is equally lackluster, additionally burdened by the fact he can't act his way out of a paper bag. In fact, during the entirety of Season 1, I don't recall one actor who presented as memorable. Even the Munchkins were loathsome. Particularly loathsome. And unlikable and thus unmemorable characters inhabiting a poorly constructed narrative storyline, intentionally crafted in that manner or not, only serve to further erode interest in what should have been, from the day it was conceived, a natural success of a television show. But if Season 2 of Rings of Power is going to be an improvement over Season 1, I didn't see solid evidence of that in this trailer. Consequently, I don't hold out much hope for Rings of Power Season 2, Galadriel Boogaloo. Yeah, the visuals look good. But for $60 million an episode, one would expect the visuals to look good. But is there an actual story well crafted and constructed rendering the series worth watching? I could ultimately be proven wrong, and in truth I would be happy to be proven wrong. But if so, it isn't evident in this first trailer. As always, thanks for watching. There are many ways to kill an orc, but for you mushheads, I will keep it simple. Stab him with the pointy end. Yeah. Come at me.